Human beings have a tendency to stay in fight or flight, even after the danger passes. Unlike animals, whenever the danger passes, their bodies return to normal. The humans who, with our thinking and stuff going on, we sustain it over long periods, and that starts to take a toll psychologically and physically.
I had to go through this. I had to go through mindful meditation. I had to learn what it does to balance me out, to even me out. It literally had to give me the mental health that I needed to keep moving on.
Tonight's show is going to be amazing. For those who don't know who I am, I'm Gillian. I am the, I guess we're technically the founder of FeelGoodShareGood, and we do have a community. And the communities are there about positive vibes and helping people reach a high vibration. Tonight's guest is actually Rita Marquez, and I've got to know her this past week. I've known of her, and we've talked briefly, but having some conversations with her this week have enlightened me and given me hope, because she wasn't aware of some of the struggles that I have that not everybody knows. So she's now become my new hero. Yes, she's going to be presenting something that we're all going to learn from, which is iRest, and how to meditate and how to use yoga to help calm your nerves when it comes to fight and flight. However, when I hear her story about what she has overcome to reinvent herself, that story to me is going to be amazing, and I'd love for Rita to share that when she presents.
My story, my backstory about how I reinvented myself, I guess. I joined the Air Force in 1978 and I retired in 1998, 20 years. In 1985, while I was still on active duty, I developed an inner ear problem leading to total deafness in 2016. I was totally devastated, of course. In 2017, I got my first cochlear implant. The VA gave me a 100% disability rating. I was pretty much at that point not able to really work in an office environment because I could no longer use a house phone, and I miss a lot of office conversation, which could lead to a lot of tension because I can't hear everybody speaking at once or in another room or behind me. I decided that sitting on the couch watching streaming video all day wasn't the answer. So I went over to the U.S. Army Fitness Center at Landstuhl Regional Medical Center, U.S. Army Hospital in Germany, and I was working on my weight. And then I noticed that they had a yoga schedule up on the counter. So I thought, okay, I can start doing that again. I did it before, so I went back into it. A teacher, and actually the person in charge of the yoga schedule and the rest of things going on there, she came over and taught a class, and she says, why don't you come over to the Pulaski Yoga Studio, which is also part of the same system with the Army Fitness Center. So I did. I went over there and I met a lot of nice people. They were teaching yoga, very nice and kind people. And while I was there, I also found the Yoga Fit poster asking us to come and take classes to be teachers. It said, deepen your practice. I wasn't sure I could be a teacher. I didn't have that kind of confidence at that time, but I thought I can deepen my practice. So I went, but as I took the classes, I started to get more confident. Yeah, I can do this. I can teach. And then while I was there, someone in that same venue said, well, I understand you want to also teach guided meditation. I said, yes, I would. She says, well, then you should take the iRest classes. And that was from a different company called Yoga International. Okay, in the meantime, Landstuhl Regional Medical Center was asking for yoga teachers to come and be added to their programs for their patients. And I was invited to teach at behavioral health and the traumatic brain injury clinic. In these two clinics, I taught combat veterans that had PTSD and trauma patients that came from the inpatient psych ward and the traumatic brain injury patients. I had earned my Yoga Fit Warriors 140 certificate. And so I was happy to have that because that's for trauma sensitive teachers. I learned a lot about PTSD. So it was good to have, and the clinics actually appreciated that I had it. I enjoyed teaching the veterans because it gave me a feeling of being able to give back. In 2021, I completed iRest Level 1. I was now qualified to teach iRest, so I added that to my clinical teaching at the Lonsdale Regional Medical Center. In 2023, May of 2023, I completed iRest Level 2 in England with Mr. James Reeves. He's a well-known teacher with Yoga International. And then from there, May 2023, I returned to the United States. I went to Oklahoma because that's where my brother lives. This gave me the opportunity to more effectively deal with the VA concerning my hearing device, as it was difficult from overseas. And I moved back for other reasons as well. After 30 years of living in Germany, it was pretty hard to do. Please note that iRest is for anyone that wants to try it. You don't have to have an illness that needs to be treated. Many just simply want to relax, get better sleep, and de-stress, amongst other benefits. iRest is integrative restoration. It was developed by Dr. Richard Miller, who is a spiritual leader, author, and yoga scholar, researcher, and clinical psychologist. It was invited in 2003 to consult with a research project at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. The study was designed to find out the effect of Yoga Nidra, a guided mindfulness meditation, how it would help heal wounded service members who experienced PTSD coming back from the wars. Yoga Nidra was an unfamiliar term, so the Army was asking him to find another term for it. So he consulted for months with his colleagues and finally came up with a new name for what is a 4,500-year-old practice. And he came up with the word integrative. And here's why, and I'm going to quote what it said, where I picked up this information from his book. He came up with the word integrative because iRest helps the individual be a fully functioning, integrated, and healthy human being, enabling the person to feel connected to themselves and all of life. Dr. Miller combined traditional yogic practice with Western psychology and neuroscience. In addition to being taught for the military, iRest has moved out into other places like schools, community centers, yoga studios, correctional facilities, and military veteran communities. iRest is non-secular and based on ancient wisdom that has long since been forgotten. We see from this that people from centuries ago had a lot of the same basic concerns and struggles as we do now. So what is iRest? iRest is guided meditation with a modern adaptation of the ancient practice of Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra doesn't involve poses like regular yoga. It can be done lying down, sitting up, standing. Anyone can do it. Did you know that some people stay in a minimum stress mode or fight or flight, and they never really get to rest and digest? This is very common with people that have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, what iRest is not psychotherapy. Teachers are not trying to fix anything. My intention as a teacher is to teach people to rest and relax and find some peace in their hearts. The medical providers add iRest and yoga to their treatment schedules as one aspect of the treatment. So we're not saying that iRest is the cure-all or anything. We're part of the overall treatment. So what does iRest do? The process calms the senses and the thinking mind so that you can experience that part of yourself that's always at peace. This is the space of unchanging awareness that's always present, where the ever changing thoughts, beliefs, emotions, sensations where they continuously come and go. With as a side note, with yoga, you hear the term Sanskrit being associated with it. Just so everyone knows, Sanskrit is an ancient language from India that predates the current Hindi language. It was used by the ancient Vedics in their ancient writings. That said, Yoga Nidra is the Sanskrit words, which means awakened sleep. It means that participants are in a state of awareness while the body is deeply relaxed, but the mind stays alert and active. So iRest Yoga Nidra encourages us to rest in the present and accept things as they are for now, while we're taking the time out to rest and relax. Being in the present allows us to experience the here and the now and be mindful, which invokes a relaxation response. It gives us a break from the past and the future, which brings on anxiety and stress oftentimes. So human beings have a tendency to stay in fight or flight, even after the danger passes. Unlike animals, whenever the danger passes, their bodies return to normal. But humans who, with our thinking and stuff going on, we sustain it over long periods, and that starts to take a toll psychologically and physically. It can bring on dis-ease, which is also known as disease, depression, cancer, hypertension, heart disease, etc. Another thing that fight or flight does is it slows down our higher thinking. There's no time to analyze when we need to act. We just have to act. So the thinking is just shut down. So, say we're called out by the boss at work, and we naturally get into a feeling of fight or flight. We go back to the desk after the big discussion and we settle down, and then we start to remember things that we forgot to say that could have helped the situation, but we couldn't think of it while we were there. And that's because of the fight or flight response that was slowing down our thinking. We pre-plan for contingencies because we can't plan in the midst of an emergency. That's why we do things like pre-plan what to do in case of a fire. And we've probably wondered when we see things that people have done in bad situations, we say, what were they thinking? Well, the truth is they probably weren't thinking because they were in fight or flight. And this causes their thinking to either stop or slow down. And it just causes them to go into impulsive decisions instead of something more smart. So the benefit of iRest, with regular practice, it helps us find our calm and our inner resource to help us calm ourselves when things arise. Or we can take that time out and regain the resting, calm space that we need to so that we can get back into the game and think a little bit more clearly. iRest has 10 steps. I'm going to concentrate on the first 5 for the purposes of this presentation because my primary focus is relaxation and de-stressing here. The first 5 are setting intentions, heartfelt desire, inner resource, breath sensing, and body sensing. Setting intentions gives us short-term goals for iRest practice, including staying awake and attentive. Or you might set an intention for better eating or exercise or something like that. A heartfelt desire, that gives us long-term goals. It gives us a purpose. We need to have a purpose. We don't want to feel like we're finished before we're finished. And it starts hitting home even more as we start getting older because we want to keep having some kind of purpose so we can keep having a reason to get up every day. Our inner resource is important because it gives us inner strength. An inner resource can be a place, such as in nature, or somewhere where we have been, or where we want to go, or it can be an imaginary place, or it can be a person, such as a loved one, or it can be a deity or a holy figure of one's beliefs. It could be a power animal or someone you admire that helps you feel strong. Everybody is different, so they must develop what works best for them. Body sensing. Body scan is when the teacher simply names places throughout the body, all impersonal, of course, and the teacher pauses after naming a spot that gives the student a chance and a moment to feel the sensation or not, if there is no sensation, such as in the hand and fingers. Maybe you feel a sensation, maybe you don't, but either way is normal. Whether you feel the sensation or not, we take away thinking or judging and just feel. See how the body may feel more relaxed when judging and analyzing is set aside. Now, the relaxation techniques in iRest, deep breathing. The symptom of PTSD and stress is shallow, irregular upper chest breathing, and that activates the fight or flight response. On the other hand, slow, deep, rhythmic, whole body breathing activates rest and digest or renew. Then we have breath sensing. This is a guided sequence in iRest. All you do is just continue with feeling and noticing without analyzing and judging. It increases mental and physical relaxation. It soothes and strengthens the central nervous system. Feeling without thinking and analyzing, which is something that we keep saying all throughout this. This invokes the relaxation response. Notice how emotions, thoughts, images, beliefs, and feelings register in the body. Notice these sensations and where they're located without thinking, without judging, just noticing. Notice how the body and mind feels when we just feel without applying thought. Ask yourself when you have an emotion or some kind of a feeling, a thought, an image, where and how do I feel this in my body? And then just notice how the things start to slow down and you start to relax, and it's not so stressful when you start asking, how do I feel this in my body? In iRest, emotions, thoughts, images, beliefs, sensations, etc., that arise during meditation should be considered as messengers that are telling us to pay attention to it. When necessary, we bring in our inner resource to find that calm in the face of anything that is arising that arouses tension or contraction. That's why the inner resource is important. Now I'm at a point where I can actually take you through an actual guided meditation so you can experience one firsthand. This is an abbreviated version. They usually last about 35 minutes. This one's about 12. So if you would like to participate in this, sit back, relax. You can sit, you can lie down, you can stand. You have eyes open, eyes closed, whatever you feel, however you feel the most comfortable. I'll give you a second to do that. While you're doing that, I'll let you know that this meditation is from the book called iRest Program for Healing PTSD by Dr. Richard Miller, PhD. Let's begin the practice by adjusting your body so that you feel completely supported on the surface upon which you are resting. Opening your senses, scanning your body and releasing any unnecessary tension. Welcoming sounds, sensations, and the feeling of being at rest throughout your entire body and mind. Taking a few moments to reflect upon your heartfelt desire, mission, or purpose. The felt sense of life living through you that gives you your life purpose, meaning, and value. Bringing to mind your intention or intentions for this practice. What helps you affirm and live your heartfelt desire, mission, or purpose? Whatever your intention, fully welcome and affirm it in your entire body and mind. Now, bringing your attention to your inner resource, to sensations of being at ease or resting, secure, grounded, experiencing your inner resource as a felt sense of well-being that you can turn to whenever you need to take time to feel secure and at rest. Now begin sensing your body with the understanding that whatever your experience is, it is just perfect as it is. Being aware of sensations in your jaw, the mouth, tongue, giving up thinking and welcome sensation in the jaw and the mouth just as they are. Sensing your left ear, right ear, welcoming both ears at the same time as radiant sensation or feeling. Giving up analyzing, simply feeling your way, sensing your forehead, cool and at rest. Scalp, back of the head, the neck, inside the throat, at rest and at ease. Sensing your left shoulder and shoulder blade, left upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, hand and fingers, the entire left arm, heavy, relaxed, and at ease. Sensing your right shoulder and shoulder blade, right upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, hand and fingers, entire right arm, heavy, relaxed, at ease. Giving up thinking and welcome both arms and hands at the same time as radiant sensation or feeling. Now bringing attention to the upper chest, middle chest, abdomen, upper back, middle back, lower back, the entire torso, front and back, as radiant sensation or feeling, letting go of thinking, just feeling your way, your entire torso heavy and relaxed, warm and at ease. Sensing your left hip, the thigh, knee, foreleg, calf, ankle, foot, toes, the entire left leg, heavy, relaxed, at ease, aware and attentive, relaxed and at ease and at rest. Sensing your right hip, the thigh, knee, foreleg, calf, ankle, foot, toes, the entire right leg, heavy, relaxed, at ease. Welcoming both hips, legs, and feet at the same time as radiant sensation or feeling. Both legs heavy, relaxed, and at ease. Sensing the entire front of the body, back of the body, sensation inside the body, sensation on the surface of the body, the entire body relaxed and at ease as radiant sensation or feeling. Now noticing, just feeling without thinking, noticing your body breathing, the sensation and feeling of each inhalation and exhalation as it comes and goes. Noticing that moment of stillness at the top and the bottom of each breath. A tiny moment of peace. And as your body inhales, note your belly, midsection, and chest expanding while feeling yourself settling, relaxing, and letting go. Giving a moment just to experience the breath. If your mind wanders, gently and non-judgmentally bring attention back to noticing the breath. And welcoming the inner resource and feeling of well-being as you continue to observe the breath. Noticing the entire body and mind relaxing with each breath. Feeling at ease, peaceful, grounded, allowing each breath to continue to invite in the inner resource and well-being peace. Resting here as long as it feels right for you. And whenever you're ready, gently opening and closing your eyes several times. Once again, sensing that inner resource, heartfelt mission, purpose, desire, feelings of rest and well-being throughout your body, and welcoming this to accompany you throughout your day in every moment. And at your leisure, when you're ready, coming back to your eyes open state of waking consciousness, having gratitude for taking the time for yourself, for your health, for your healing, and for your practice of iRest Yoga Nidra. Perhaps you'd like to reflect upon the practice later and maybe journal on it. I hope everybody has a nice restful sleep tonight. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that session. It was just so awakening for me because I go way back. I don't know if you know a little bit about me because I worked in a very intense, I would say, acute facility when I was young, about 20, 30 years ago. And I'm talking about with some of the worse Tourette syndrome and, children with tics and just all kinds of things. And I'm going to look up the iRest as well, even though I know a little bit about it. I do know one thing, though, it saves lives. It saves lives. And I can contribute that science to some of the stuff of what I went through working at Yale New Haven Hospital in this unit called Rare Syndromes. And I remember the times that I would say, if I didn't do some type of meditation, I wasn't going to make it. I really wasn't. And so we did mindful meditation at our facility. I've learned all about it because I had to. My cortisol level was so high, and when you're going through anxiety and your heart starts racing, even as a medical person, you don't really know what that is. Sometimes you go, oh, well, maybe I ate too much ice cream. Maybe that soda did it. You'll just blame it on anything. But when it happens constantly over and over and over again, it's not until someone tell you, hey, you're stressed out. And even when someone tell you, you don't even want to believe it because we all healers. We want to believe that we're strong and we're supposed to take care of other people and that we're good. Don't worry about me. I'm good. As I drink my coffee and my cortisol levels are high and I'm stressed out, but yet I'm going to be right there helping you no matter what happens. Have a car accident, heart attack, I'm right there. And so I had to go through this. I had to go through mindful meditation. I had to learn what it does to balance me out, to even me out, how to make my, it literally had to give me the mental health that I needed to keep moving on. It had to give me that calm and peace, and breath work. I had to learn about breath work. So it's all so amazing. And it changes your life. It saves your life and it changes your life. And I believe that doctors and nurses in the acute care setting, they should all be given classes. You should be teaching them all because they're a mess. The nurses that's in the emergency room, they're supposed to be there to calm you down. They're not supposed to have a heart attack with you. But we are all living in a stressful world, and somebody's got to be out there doing this work with you. And I commend you for it. God bless you, because I tell you, stress almost took me out. And I had to learn. And now that you've given me some more feedback, and you did, I'm going to start teaching people more about iRest, because I don't think we can do this physical, mental, emotional, spiritual world without it. We just can't.
Yeah, I realized it's something that's very important. But my thing is, right now, I haven't found any place where anybody actually realizes the value of it. I invited people to watch this presentation, and I'll try to get them to watch the recording if they didn't come today, because I haven't found any place to teach yet. So maybe somehow I can start teaching online.
Well,
I'm not sure how yet.
no, Rita,
Well,
that's
I
something that can happen, right, Dr. Roni?
yeah, your niche are health and wellness people. They need this so bad. Do you know why? Because the military and people with all of the anxieties, and I know that that's a whole niche out there that need that. But guess what? We need teachers to teach them. I was the only one that was working with this Tourette syndrome child, and I didn't know what you know. But I do know one thing: without the calm and peace meditation, I would have never been able to help them. So start with people like us online. We really need this so bad, and we pretend that we don't.
Rita, I want to thank you very much for explaining iRest. I initially thought that we were going to learn how to rest our eyes because we are on the screens too much. I was like, oh, that's an interesting topic. But I love guided meditation. I love yoga, although the yoga I do involves a lot of poses, and sometimes I get stuck in them. But I love the fact that you're available to help people. And I think that what you're going to find is, as you engage with this community, people will reach out to you, and you'll start to develop a community of iRest meditation people that are interested in doing that. Even this 15 minutes a day, you can go live and do it with people on Facebook, and they'll stop their what they're doing during the day and sit down and just breathe. And I loved the fact that you mentioned that we get to experience those parts of us that are always at peace. And I would bet not one of us here ever considered there are parts of us that are always at peace, because as Dr. Roni was saying, we're just, we're in that rat race. We're going, going, going. A lot of us are at that age where anxiety takes over every day, and you're just trying to survive, and you're just trying to, take care of everybody, and you forget to take care of yourself, and you forget to breathe. So when you mentioned that I wrote it down. Experience the parts of you that are always at peace. And I noticed as you were guiding us, my mind was kind of all over the place. And then there was a point before I had to scratch my neck. I eventually had to scratch my neck because it was getting itchy. But there was a point where I was listening to your words and actually feeling the parts of my body you were walking us through. And I think that people will really embrace that. If you make it available, I'm sure Gillian and the rest of the group will do what they can to help you, because that's what we're all about here, is women helping women, and the guys too. And it's that, I remember you said when you started doing this, you were able to help veterans deal with their PTSD, and it made you feel like you were giving back, and that giving back is calming. And it is. As the catalyst behind Growing to Give, a nonprofit, I find that when I'm in that state of giving back, all that past and future worry goes away. It just evaporates. So thank you for sharing that. And it reminds me, I just want to talk about very quickly, I want to talk about a video I shared on my Facebook page. It's an admiral in the US Navy, and he was speaking to a graduating class, and he told them to make their beds every day. And I thought, oh, we hear that all the time in the Army. My mom and dad were in the Army, and John's dad was in the Army. So, you always heard that. And as a kid, my mother could attest to it. I was not one to make my bed. There was a point in my life, and I think it was when the anxiety started to take over. it's that I started to make my bed in the morning, and sometimes John was still in it. But I often would wait until he was finished. He was up, he was finished, he was up. And then what he said, what this admiral said was, he says, even after the most awful day, you know that you can come home and crawl into a freshly made bed.
Mhm.
And that's your rest time. Is you're not wrestling with blankets. You get to just slip under the sheets and go to sleep.
So, and then on that note, I want to make sure everybody knows how to connect with Rita. I have posted inside the comments on my inside the Facebook Live, but I will also make sure that it goes in separately in the Feel Good Share Good community. If you're not part of our Feel Good Share Good community, please join. Make sure you are following Rita. You follow the community. You can also follow Dr. Roni. You can go to her website, drronideluz.com. And then the other thing I want to say thank you to Siobhan Shaw for stepping up. And Siobhan Shaw is the co-founder of Growing to Give, is the growingtogive.org. It's an opportunity to help people grow their own food with the Community Gardens Initiative, but it's bigger than that. It's a global opportunity to help give back, to help people heal by eating the right food. So this is why we're here. It's all about serving each other.